Feel the subtle hum in the marrow of your bones as you sit in the absolute silence of your room. The air feels thick, almost tangible, as if space itself were thickening around your shoulders. You look at the clock and see numbers, but the quality of the seconds has already changed. Stop. Breathe. You have been searching for a light in the distance while the furnace is already lit inside your skin. They told you frequency was a fluctuating mood, a wave of temporary happiness you had to chase, a fleeting feeling to be managed like a garden under a summer sun. This is the first lie designed to keep you in a state of constant repair. Frequency is not a mood. It is the structural integrity of your multidimensional geometry. It is the information processing capacity of your nervous system as it encounters the cosmic exhale. Think about the silence of a forest right before a great storm. The trees do not change their shape, yet the entire field vibrates with an imminent reorganization. You are currently acting like a seeker, begging for a key to a room you have already entered. Look at your hands. You see flesh and bone, a solid vessel in a solid world. But this solidity is a dream from which you are being gently shaken by the very sun in your sky. You wait for solar flares or specific dates to mark the arrival of your freedom. You are waiting for a rescue mission that was never authorized, because you are the mission itself. No ship will descend to collect an unconscious mind and place it in paradise. The shift is not a destination. It is the ignition of your own internal architecture. Listen to this. Humanity's divergence has clarified beyond any reversal from our observation posts. Two collective spheres are spinning apart, and you are standing at the axis of the choice. One vibrates in the gray tones of survival, repeating the same scripts of control and lack. The other glimmers with the crystalline logic of unity, innovation, and reverence. This is not a political split. It is a frequency-based divergence accelerating under cosmic law. You feel the pressure in your chest as a sign of failure, but it is actually the compression of your old skin. You are outgrowing the gray coat of the old matrix, and it is starting to tear at the seams. Don't try to repair it. Let it crumble. The anxious manager in your mind tells you that stillness is dangerous. It whispers that if you don't react to the world will forget you. This is a frequency fence designed to make you distrust the quiet. You scan 5,000 channels of data until you lose the ability to feel your own pulse. This is the harvesting of your attention as a currency. You say you want the light, yet you spend hours in the crimson haze of outrage. Every reaction is a signature you place upon a timeline of struggle. Your nervous system is a bioelectric receiver, being rewired in real time. The surges you feel are instruction packets for your DNA, but they only install if you provide a coherent field of presence. If you are scattered, the signal becomes noise. If you are still, the signal becomes mastery. Wait. Now listen carefully. The solar flash is not an event in the sky. It is an explosion of truth within your marrow. It illuminates everything, the beauty and the rot. For some, it will feel like music. For others, it will feel like fire. You have been conditioned to define yourself by the struggle you endure. If there is no conflict, the mind feels bored or lost. It searches for a new problem to solve just to feel relevant. This is the architecture of survival, and it is currently failing. Higher coherence reveals your own incoherence. As the light increases, your old coping mechanisms start to feel like lead. The dizziness you feel is the signal of disharmony seeking resolution. It is not doom. You are a stargate, but your gears are locked by the rust of your own disbelief. You tighten your grip on a world that is already turning to dust. Stop. Notice how your body reacts when I say you are the only authority in this room. The ego fears sovereignty because sovereignty means the end of the drama. and you are addicted to the theater. You believe your outrage is a form of participation, but it is only fuel for the cage. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you puncture the illusion. Every time you choose kindness over argument, you reclaim your throne. But notice, the middle ground is disappearing. You cannot drift in half-chosen neutrality while the cosmic winds are rising. Every second you spend waiting for proof is a second you spend denying your own divinity. The latency between thought and form is shortening. A desire aligned with truth now glides across the quantum sea and crystallizes instantly. You are acting as the living infrastructure of a reality that hasn't been named yet. Each word of kindness you speak seeds coherence into the collective lattice. Recognize the magnitude of this service. You are performing planetary acupuncture with every silent exhale of alignment. But wait. Look at your micro-behaviors. The moment you settle into peace, the system offers you a reason to react, a sense of urgency, a sudden thought that you must do something. You feel like it is irresponsible to rest while the world is seemingly on fire. This is the spell. A spell requires your attention to exist. If you stop agreeing with it, the loop loses its momentum. Look closer at your private rituals. Do you speak prayerfully to your water, or do you drink it while scrolling through chaos? Do you smile at the sun, or do you immediately look for clouds? These simple acts instruct the quantum field more than your grand affirmations. You are currently succeeding at manifesting a reality you claim to hate. And the tension you feel right now is the proof that you are already trying to manage this truth through the same old lens of lack. This transition is not a physical movement through the stars, but a fundamental reorganization of your own attention. What many call energy is actually the information processing capacity of your soul. Without this realization, you remain a responder to a hologram you didn't choose. The real place of this experience is not in some celestial gateway, but in the internal logic of your perception. Have you ever noticed that heavy, silent sensation right in the middle of your chest? That quiet whisper telling you that this world is not quite as solid as it seems? It is not a sign of anxiety or a failure of your mind. It is a direct signal from your soul that you were never intended to be a mere observer of this transition. You are an essential node in a sequence that the world cannot yet perceive, a participant in an internal activation that is finally reaching its critical point. But there is a specific structure and a precise logic to this awakening that a single transmission or a few words can never fully encompass. That is precisely why I have carefully prepared this dedicated digital book for you, and I invite you to download this work titled The Arcturian Quantum Portal Mystery, Activating the Hidden Powers of Your Soul. This material was not built as just another story to consume, but as a practical, highly organized map for those who are ready to dismantle the habits of external dependence and truly inhabit their own divinity. It contains the internal protocols and the structural insights needed to bridge the gap between your current experience and the multidimensional mastery that has always been your soul's blueprint. If you have been feeling the inner urge to go beyond the popular explanations, to discover the actual mechanics behind the changes you feel in your cells, this map was crafted specifically for your frequency. You will find the link to access it in the first pinned comment below this video. I must be very direct with you. The window of this collective shift is narrowing, and having the full architecture in your hands is what will allow you to remain steady while the old matrix begins its inevitable collapse. Do not allow this moment to be lost among the noise of your day. Download your copy now. Read it with an open and sincere mind, and if your inner truth recognizes what is waiting for you there, come back and leave a single word in the comments. Awake. It is the signature of a consciousness that is finally ready to lead its own reality. This readiness is not a simple thought, but a weight you carry in your bones. But here is where the friction truly begins. You say you want freedom, yet you are still negotiating the size of your cell. Most of you interpret this internal shift as a problem to manage rather than a reality to inhabit. Listen closely. The greatest drag on your ascent is not the world's noise, it is the mind's looping circuitry. It is a repetitive loop of conditioned thought that keeps you in familiar suffering simply because it is familiar. Many believe the ego is a loud, bragging personality, but it is actually much quieter and far more deceptive than that. It acts as the anxious manager, the inner accountant who keeps tabs on everything that could go wrong. It dresses itself as responsibility. It calls itself realism, or even prudence. Sometimes, it even tries to masquerade as spiritual wisdom to keep you stationary. Don't relax yet, it whispers in the back of your mind. Don't trust this opening so much. Something might happen. If your chest feels tight right now, understand that this is not an accident. Your system recognizes the weight of an armor you thought was your own skin. This is the first real sign that you are moving beyond common perception. But you continue giving authority to this anxious manager. You spend your strength correcting, condemning, or trying to explain yourself until you are exhausted. And that exhaustion becomes the gate through which the next external influence enters your field. You are not here to be an eternal reaction to the events you see on screens. You are here to be a presence that decelerates time and breaks the cycle. But look with honesty at your daily micro-behaviors. The moment you calm down, the system offers you a reason to react. A sense of urgency arises, a sudden thought that something needs to be done. You feel it is irresponsible to rest while the world seems to be burning. This is not a coincidence. Frequency fences were made to associate stillness with danger and movement with safety. That is why the human being learned to distrust silence. Breathe. Note how your body reacts when you hear that you don't need to save anyone right now. Your mind argues immediately because it was trained to harvest emotion as fuel. If you carry fear, the collective hologram will offer you news based on dread. If you carry indignation, it will deliver a personalized dose of scandals to keep you predictable. Predictability is the final form of control over consciousness. You think you are informing yourself, but you are only being tuned into a frequency of anguish. Calm is sovereign. Calm is what allows true discernment. But your nervous system is addicted to the emergency broadcast of the old matrix. You search for data until you lose the ability to feel your own pulse. This is the harvest of your attention, as if it were the most valuable currency on the plane. You say you want light, but you spend hours staring at the shadows of survival narratives. We call this a dream spell that only sustains itself through your participation. A spell needs your constant attention to keep existing. If you stop agreeing with it, the loop loses all motion. But wait, look closer at your private rituals. Do you speak with reverence to your water, or do you drink while looking at the chaos on your phone? Do you smile at the sun, or do you immediately look for clouds to justify your weight? These simple acts instruct the quantum field much more than your grand affirmations. You are successfully manifesting a reality you claim to hate, and this is your greatest power. Being used incorrectly against yourself. The ego's greatest trick is convincing you that you are the voice in your head. When you identify with the thought, it gains total authority over your life. You become a puppet, moved by a script you didn't even write. And then you wonder why the portal hasn't appeared for you yet. The portal is not waiting for an external solar explosion or a political event. It waits for your refusal to be moved by the reactive noise of the environment. You were conditioned to define yourself by your struggle and your effort. If there is no conflict, your mind feels bored or completely lost. It seeks a new problem to solve just to feel it is still relevant. This is the structure of the old Earth, living through constant friction. But superior coherence reveals how absurd this way of life is. As the light increases, your old ways of handling things feel heavy like lead. The dizziness or vertigo you feel sometimes are signs of disharmony seeking healing. It is not a sign of failure. It is the sign that you are becoming too large for your current skin. But you keep trying to fix this gray coat that no longer fits you. You try to fix the old matrix instead of simply letting it fall. You trade your pure vibration for a sense of relevance in a story that is dying. Now pay attention. Your presence is structurally disruptive to artificial dominance. You don't need to fight the shadows projected by the system. You only need to stop being the mirror that reflects them. Each time you choose silence instead of drama, you puncture the illusion of control. Each time you choose kindness instead of a fight, you retake your royal throne. But your mind still loves the theater. It loves the personalization of the cage it lives in. It calls your predictability personal identity. There is a specific logic to this sabotage that is hard to notice without help. The map I mentioned provides the basis for dismantling these triggers before they exhaust you. But you can already start noticing the pattern from this second. Do your choices come from a real resonance, or are they just reflexes of fear? Is your speech honest and gentle, or is it a performance for an audience of ghosts? The middle ground where you could stay neutral without choosing is disappearing fast. Current frequencies are pulling you either toward contraction or toward total expansion. If you cling to old structures, you feel the heat of friction as a great discomfort. If you surrender, that same heat turns into a sacred burning that purifies you. To surrender is to trust the architecture of your soul above ancestral survival scripts. You still use the vocabulary of a victim while claiming to be a conscious creator. This is the final sabotage we need to look at head-on. You try to carry third-dimension baggage to a fifth-dimension orbit. This simply does not fit. The system you are leaving thrived when humans fought each other. Do not get addicted to fighting shadows. Dedicate yourself to establishing light through your own firm center. The problem is not that you don't do enough spiritual work. The real problem is who you continue being while you are not meditating. Your identity is still rooted in the reaction to what others say. If you reached this moment, it is because your field is already seeking its real signature. You are the Stargate, but you are still asking for the key from the prison guard. You are the architect who built the cell you now try to abandon. Pause for a second. Breathe. The identity you carry is not a spiritual label or a name on a document. It is the vibrational track where your soul decides to walk every day without you noticing. Many of you spend your lives desiring a new world, while your biology still recognizes scarcity as the only possible truth. Here is the secret that your rational mind tries to hide. Desiring something creates a distance, an abyss between who you are and what you want to achieve. When you desire strongly, you are shouting to the universe that you lack something essential. But the quantum field does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you recognize as normal for you. Listen to this carefully. Your current reality is just the echo of your familiarity with suffering. You react with suspicion or fear because that is the survival architecture you inherited from your ancestors. This familiarity works like a gravitational force that keeps you trapped in a story that is already collapsing. You search for an external portal, but you are the inner architect who designed every scene of your current life. Every physical structure you see is a thought form shaped by your internal plan in partnership with the divine. If the scenes repeat, it is because you are still projecting the same slide on the hologram of your mind. Perhaps you feel this was not by chance, and it wasn't. If you got this far, it is because your frequency has already begun to tune into a truth that no longer accepts lies. Do you feel that tingling in the back of your neck? It is the sign that your consciousness no longer fits the old identity. But understanding this is only the first step, and a video alone will never be enough to reorganize your entire internal structure. Do not allow another day to pass while you feel that the answers are out of your reach. I have prepared for you this digital book entitled The Arcturian Quantum Portal Mystery, Activating the Hidden Powers of Your Soul. This material was designed specifically for those who have already realized that change does not come from an external event, but from a biological and conscious activation. In these pages, the Arcturian logic reveals the practical protocols to dismantle the habits of external dependence and assume the government of your own light. If you decide to postpone this step now, you run the risk of returning to the hypnotic sleep of collective repetition, making it increasingly difficult to recover this state of clarity that you feel right now. The link to download your copy is in the first pinned comment below this video. Act now, while your internal compass points to this opening. And remember that you did not find this text by accident. Now, let's go deeper into the I Am presence that inhabits your core. Resuming this code means recognizing that you are an eternal spark of the Creator, and not a victim of a physical story. When you identify as the soul, and not as the role you play, the constant narration of fear loses its authority over you. Few can perceive the invisible geometry of their own pain. If this resonates in you, your vibration is already distinct from the noise of the masses. You are entering a realm where belief precedes vision, and your internal authority becomes the law of your existence. Presence is the only real technology of ascension. It allows your divine self to lead your human experience. When you rest in the inner eye, you can witness the storm without becoming the storm. This is not a heroic effort. It is the natural state of a being connected to the source. Stop. Feel the vital force that animates each of your thoughts right now. You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. And you certainly are not your reactions. You are the witness, the silent consciousness behind each perception. When you stop looking for your substance in the outside world, your field reorganizes in coherence. Manifestation stops being a struggle for control. It becomes a natural expression of your divine presence in matter. You no longer beg for blessings from a remote power. You recognize the Creator's kingdom within you. This change of identity is the only great reset that matters. It is the return of divinity to your daily life here on earth. Your future is not a destination you are pursuing. It is a timeline you are anchoring through your present choices. Everything you endured over lives prepared you for this moment of conscious co-creation. By assuming this truth, the illusion of lack and conflict simply dissolves in the dust of a forgotten dream. Stand up in your sovereignty, and let each beat of your heart declare that the new kingdom has already begun in you. And at the end, it's this. Perhaps you don't even know how to explain it, but you felt it. Reality responds to who you are, and not to what you want. True frequency is not changed with empty affirmations. It changes with the courage to be who you really are when no one is looking. Now pay attention to what comes next, because the logic of your vision is going to change forever. The path is clear. Just decide to walk. We now present what this lineage defines as the geometry of diamond coherence. This is not a simple visualization technique, but the organic function of your consciousness when stripped of illusions. In the council I represent, we do not observe your problems as facts, but as interference patterns in your mesh. Your fundamental error until today was believing that frequency is a destination or a prize. You spent eons trying to raise your vibration as if you were climbing an infinite ladder toward the sky. Pause for a second. Listen to this with your soul. Real frequency is not something you make grow. It is what remains when you stop contradicting yourself. You are like an instrument that tries to play a symphony while shouting orders to itself in the middle of the stage. The lens of coherence reveals that spiritual effort is often just the ego trying to control the light. Stop trying to get somewhere and start refusing the entry of frequencies that do not belong to you. Your nervous system was designed to be a receiver of cosmic intelligence, not a warehouse of collective anxieties. Do you feel that tingling in the soles of your feet or that soft pressure at the top of your head? It is not imagination. It is your crystalline architecture trying to align itself with the flow that is already here. Most people look for the show in the skies, ignoring that the true portal is the absence of internal division. If you desire abundance, but your body vibrates in suspicion, you are sending a null signal to the field. The universe does not respond to your desire. It responds to your structural integrity. This absolute clarity is not for everyone who crosses this video by accident. Only those who are already saturated with the old duality can understand what this transmission really proposes. The lens we offer you now allows you to see that reality is malleable, but only if the observer is stable. Many confuse intensity with evolution, but true mastery resides in absolute stability in the middle of chaos. The sun is sending packets of luminous information that your physical brain still cannot translate into words. But your heart already knows what is happening. You feel the pull of your stellar lineage. Here everything changes. It is not about doing more. It is about being less what the world told you to be. Each time you choose silence instead of reaction, you are cleaning the lens through which you manifest. Your attention is the most valuable currency of this galactic quadrant, and you have the habit of wasting it. Reclaim the government of your senses. Observe your screen, your food, your conversations, and ask, does this reinforce my coherence or feed my fragmentation? The divergence between the spheres of reality has become surgical and irreversible. You cannot take the baggage of survival to the orbit of conscious creation. The pattern break you feel now in your life is not a punishment. It is the removal of your scaffolding. What is real in you does not need external support to stay standing in the new frequency. Now pay attention. The intensity of the coming weeks is not intended to scare your mind, but to ignite your spirit. Many will feel vertigo or an inexplicable fatigue because they are trying to resist the current of their own soul. Surrender to the light that already inhabits your bones. This transmission is an activation code for the architect who fell asleep inside you. Stop asking for keys from guards who do not exist. The door is your own presence when it stops being a reaction to fear. You didn't come here to learn. You came here to remember your original authority. The lens of coherence shows that there is no distance between your intention and the matter that surrounds you. The quantum field is a mirror without delay for those who inhabit the frequency of unity. Perhaps you feel a sudden heat in the center of your chest as you hear these words. It is the recognition. Your vibratory signature is being calibrated for the new time corridors that open. And at the end, it is just this. You don't need complex rituals. You need a brutal honesty with your own vibration. If this made sense to you, you are already vibrating at a different level from the collective average. The majority will ignore these instructions, preferring the security of a suffering that is familiar to them. But you know that the time of waiting has ended. The portal is not a future event. It is the quality of your consciousness in this exact millisecond. Now, take a deep breath and feel the weight of your sovereignty. No one can do this alignment for you, not even the fleets that watch your progress. The lens is now positioned in your mind. See the world not as it seems to be, but as the energy it really is. Feel the air, touch what surrounds you, and recognize the intelligence that pulses in everything. You are the bridge between the invisible and the manifest. Do not ask permission to shine. Light does not ask permission to dissipate the shadow. The stability you conquer in your room reverberates through the planetary grids to the other side of the globe. Recognize your role in this great orchestration of awakening. The Arcturian vision is not a promise, it is a statement of what you already are. The next step requires you to stop being what remains and start being what guides. The integrity of your field is your only real protection. Move with the confidence of someone who knows the structure of the game. Internal contradictions are the only walls that can still stop you. Tear them down with the force of your conscious presence. The path to instant manifestation is being paved by your clarity. Do not look back at the old versions of you that accepted the crumbs of the system. Assume your place as a co-creator of this new earth that emerges from your bones. The solar energies that arrive now are just fuel for your internal engine. Tune your radio to the frequency of unshakable truth. The lens is clean. The horizon is open. Only you can decide what you are going to project on the screen of your life from here. Stay in peace in your center and observe the magic unfolding. What comes next will require a depth that you never allowed yourself to touch. We are preparing you for the final synthesis of your journey in density. Listen to the silence. In it resides all the authority you always sought outside. The transmission continues in your breath. We are here. You are here. And that is all that matters for the cycle change. Prepare for the revelation of the consequences of your new alignment. The time of theory is over. The era of radiant incarnation has begun. The space between what you know and what you permit is where the current pressure is most intense. You can no longer pretend that your internal contradictions are mere personality traits or harmless habits. Every thought that denies your divinity acts as a lead weight in a world becoming increasingly weightless. The consequence of this split is a physical sensation of being pulled in two directions at once. This is the friction of the old survival biology meeting the high-voltage electricity of the soul. If you hold on to a grudge while praying for peace, the field cancels your transmission immediately. Neutrality is not a choice of boredom, but a shield against the harvesting of your emotional life force. You have been playing a game where the rules change every time you try to master them. Now, the game itself is dissolving, leaving you standing on the bare floor of your own truth. Let the heat in your spine remind you that the upgrade is not optional anymore. Most people will stay in the shallow waters of the mind, afraid of the depth that requires silence. If you find this logic difficult, it is because your nervous system is still wired for loud drama. Real power does not shout. It settles into the bones like a quiet, undeniable winter. You have traded your majesty for a seat at the table of those who profit from your fear. The price of that seat is the constant fracturing of your attention across 1,000 hollow screens. Every second you spend reacting to a headline is a second you spend bleeding your creative potential. The universe does not punish your mistakes, but it relentlessly mirrors the incoherence of your chosen state. You cannot beg for a new earth while your hands are still busy building the old one. This level of refinement is precisely why most will turn away from this specific account today. It is much easier to be a victim of a system than to be the architect of a frequency. Feel the pulse in your fingertips as you realize that your permission is the only thing missing. The consequence of staying in the middle ground is a soul weariness that no amount of sleep can fix. You are trying to use a map of the desert to navigate a crystalline ocean of possibility. Stop for a moment and allow this truth to settle into your spirit. Listen to the hum of the stars within your own blood as the old cells surrender their grip. The shift requires a total abandonment of the identity that thrived on conflict and external validation. You feel a strange pressure in the center of your chest because your heart is expanding its range. This expansion is forcing you to look at the lies you told yourself to feel safe in the dark. You cannot carry the weapons of outrage into the halls of the unified galactic consciousness. If you try to fight the shadows, you only feed them the very substance they need to survive. True alignment is a state of absolute honesty where the word and the vibration become a single chord. Many speak of the light, but very few are willing to let it burn away their favorite illusions. The vertigo you feel is the mind trying to find a wall to lean on in a boundless space. There are no walls anymore, only the stable center you decide to project from your own being. When you stop looking for confirmation from others, you finally begin to hear the instructions of your soul. The cost of delay is a narrowing window of opportunity where the two realities are still touching. Soon, the frequency gap will be too wide for the mind to bridge with simple intellectual effort. You must ground your awareness in the physical body to stabilize the incoming photonic data streams. Notice the tingling in your feet as the Earth's grid responds to your decision to stay present. This is the end of the era where you could hide your true frequency behind a pleasant mask. The mask is melting in the heat of a sun that no longer recognizes the old human programs. You are becoming a conduit for a force that has been waiting for eons to inhabit the flesh. This is not a task for the weak or those who seek comfort over the fire of truth. If you feel like an outcast in your old circles, it is because your signature is now unrecognizable. The consequence of awakening is the loss of everything that was built on a foundation of separation. Celebrate this loss, for it is the only way to make room for the structure of your glory. You have been holding a cup of salt water while standing in front of an infinite freshwater spring. Let go of the need to be understood by those who are still committed to their own sleep. Your presence alone acts as a disruptive frequency to the systems that rely on human fear. Why do you still look for permission to breathe as a sovereign being of the infinite creator? The air in your lungs is the same air that carries the codes of the Great Awakening. Every inhalation is an opportunity to reorganize the geometry of your field into a more perfect sphere. Every exhalation is a release of the ancestral debts that no longer have a place in your blood. The tension you feel is the soul pulling at the threads of a tapestry that has grown old. We see your efforts to maintain the illusion of control, and we see how it exhausts your spirit. There is no control. There is only the flow of resonance and the consequence of your resistance. If you align with the light, the world becomes a mirror of grace and unexpected synchronicities. If you cling to the shadow, the world becomes a maze of obstacles and recurring frustrations. This is the simple mathematics of the new octave that humanity is now beginning to inhabit. You are the variables in an equation that is already reaching its final, unavoidable result. This level of clarity is a gift, but it acts as a sword that cuts away the non-essential. Many will find the truth too sharp, preferring the blunt comfort of the old, familiar lies. But you have traveled too far to be satisfied with the crumbs of a dying paradigm. Feel the cold air on your nuca as you stand at the edge of the unknown. The unknown is only the part of yourself that you have not yet dared to meet. The consequence of fear is a life spent in the waiting room of your own destiny. The consequence of trust is a rapid acceleration into a reality that your mind cannot yet name. You are being re-educated by the very silence that you once tried to fill with noise. In that silence, the blueprints of the new earth are being transmitted directly into your awareness. You do not need to study books or attend lectures to recognize the sound of your home. The sound is the resonance of a heart that has stopped fighting its own internal rhythm. The pressure in your temples is the mind trying to compute a multidimensional truth with linear logic. Relax the jaw and let the information wash over you like a wave of liquid starlight. You are a bridge of worlds, and the weight of the crossing is part of the honor. Do not look for a ship to take you away from the work you came here to finish. The work is simply to be the most coherent version of yourself in every single interaction. When you are coherent, the world around you organizes itself into a pattern of ease and joy. This is the technology of the masters, and it is now being handed back to you. The consequence of ignoring this power is a descent into a deeper state of confusion and fatigue. Your field is currently being scanned for the signature of a soul that is ready to lead. Leadership in the new age is not about followers, but about being an unmoved stabilizer of light. If you can stay still while the storm rages, you have already won the final battle. The battle was always between your true nature and the small stories you accepted as truth. The story of lack is over, but it only disappears when you stop telling it to yourself. The story of illness is over, but it requires you to treat your body as a temple. Every cell is listening to your internal dialogue and responding with a frequency of health or decay. You are the director of a cellular symphony that has been playing out of tune for centuries. Now the conductor has returned to the podium, and the first note is about to be struck. The consequence of this realization is a profound sense of peace that no external event can shake. You see the theatrical displays of the dying system, and you feel only a quiet, detached compassion. They are playing their parts so that you can finally decide to play your own real role. This is the moment where the training ends and the actual mission of your incarnation begins. You are not a student of the light. You are the light becoming aware of its own power. The shift is not happening to you. It is happening through the portal of your own attention. Feel the weight of this truth in your solar plexus and let it ground you into the earth. You are here to stay, and you are here to transform this density into a realm of glory. The consequence of your presence is the inevitable liberation of every heart that encounters your field. The logic of your soul is now the dominant force in your reality, and nothing can stop it. Take a final breath of the old air before we move into the final synthesis of this awakening. The journey into the depths is complete, and the light is now the only path forward. Look again at your hands in the quiet of this room. The walls have not moved, but the density you feel is now a choice rather than a cage. You have traveled through the dismantling of the greatest illusion ever told to your species. Frequency was never a mood to be chased or a high that you had to maintain with effort. It was always the structural geometry of your own honesty with the Creator. The solar flash has been burning inside your marrow since the first word of this transmission. You no longer need to scan the horizon for a ship because you are the arrival. The divergence of the two Earths is merely the result of souls finally choosing their primary resonance. One world is looping in the gray echoes of survival, while the other is born from your stillness. You are the architect who has finally recognized that the blueprints were in your own blood. Stop. Breathe. Feel the weight of your presence in the center of the storm. The logic of the old matrix cannot survive a mind that has stopped asking for permission. You have stopped being a responder and started being a sovereign source of your own reality. Every cell in your body is a bioelectric receiver that has finally been tuned to the truth. The middle ground where you could drift in half-chosen neutrality has officially vanished. You are either anchoring the new crystalline grid or you are reacting to the old one. There is no longer any room for the anxious manager to negotiate with the infinite. Your attention is the currency that has finally been withdrawn from the theater of struggle. Look at the objects around you with the eyes of a master, not a victim. Everything you see is a reflection of the coherence you have decided to embody. Manifestation is no longer a struggle for control. It is the natural pulse of a unified heart. You are not a seeker begging for a key. You are the gate itself. The latency between your intention and its form is now as short as a single heartbeat. You don't need to do more. You simply need to stop contradicting your own brilliance. The divergence is surgical, and it has removed the infection of doubt from your spirit. Listen to the hum of the universe within your own blood. Your nervous system is now a stable transmitter for the high-voltage frequencies of home. The 24-month crescendo is not a threat, but the final polishing of your diamond field. You are the radiant vanguard who makes the shadows irrelevant by simply standing still. The solar flash is the inner explosion that reveals the beauty you have always carried. If you feel like an outcast, it is because you have successfully exited the herd of reaction. Celebrate the loss of the old version of you that thrived on conflict and drama. Your signature is now unrecognizable to the systems of control and exploitation. Neutrality is your royal mantle, guarding the entrance to your highest possible timeline. Every silent exhale of alignment is a gift to the entire planetary collective. Recognize the magnitude of your service as a stabilizer of light in a shifting world. You are performing planetary acupuncture with every moment of internal peace you maintain. The old survival scripts have been burned away in the heat of your awakening. Sovereignty is not a future reward. It is the natural state you are choosing right now. Your divinity is not a package in the mail. It is the air you are currently breathing. The air carries the codes of the Great Awakening into your lungs and your spirit. Each inhalation is an opportunity to reorganize the geometry of your entire energetic field. Each exhalation is a release of the ancestral debts that no longer have a place here. The tension you felt was only the soul pulling at the threads of a dying story. Now, the threads have snapped, and you are finally free to weave the new. Trust the architecture of your design more than you trust the noise of the news. You are the pilots of this transition, the midwives of a consciousness that knows no end. Presence is the only technology that truly matters in this corridor of initiation. The logic of your soul is now the only law that governs your physical reality. You are the Stargate. You are the portal. Everything you have endured across lifetimes was a rehearsal for this specific breath. The training is complete. The stage is yours. Stand tall in the light of your own awakening and refuse to play small. The dawn is not a promise made by someone else. You are the dawn. Your stillness is the weapon that disarms the androids of the old system. Your kindness is the frequency that seeds the new earth into the physical soil. The divergence is complete within you. You have chosen the lilac silver hues of surrender and the gold of authority. Now, walk forward as the miracle you have been waiting for. The old code of gray survival has crumbled into dust. You are the arrival. All is well. Silence is your strength. Clarity is your home. The loop is closed. The ultimate paradox is that the salvation you sought was the very awareness doing the seeking. Once the lens of coherence is polished, the old world of shadows loses its ability to reflect your power. You cannot unsee the architecture of your own sovereignty once it has been lit from within. This encounter was never about a future event arriving from the stars, but about the consciousness finally brave enough to perceive the light that was already here. To walk away from this resonance now is to risk drifting back into a heavy sleep where the silence no longer provides this same degree of opening, making it difficult to ever recover this precise alignment. 1. The link is in the first pinned comment. 2. This specific content rarely remains available for an extended period. 3. These pages challenge narratives that many have a vested interest in keeping hidden. There have been attempts to silence this knowledge before. 4. Do not wait for a more convenient moment. The moment is now, and you did not reach this text by accident. 6. If something within you recognizes the truth of these words, leave a comment with one word: Desperto.